Hello and welcome to the AFC North Division preview on the Drew and Stu podcast. I'm Drew Livingstone. That's Cam Stewart. Cam, people loved when you were predicting the schedules of the last couple teams in the other two division previews. And they kept saying, some of the comments were like, does Cam secretly hate the Seahawks? Because every time a team was going against the Seahawks, he's like, that's a win. That's a win.
What did I
that's
do?
A win.
What did I do? What I've learned, Drew? Lowered expectations. When I have no vibes going into the season, every time I think things are getting better, they get worse. So I'm saying, hey, they're going to be horrible, and then they can surprise me. It's always a better way to live. Low expectations. Like when you go to the casino, don't think you're going to win. Think, you know what? This is money that I'm going to probably lose, and then good things happen. The minute I go, it's my day, you're done. Like you.
If you go to the casino going like, I need to win $500.
Yes, then you're not going to win. If you say you need to win, I'm actually going to tie you. Like I'm going to throw you out the door because I guarantee you're going to lose. It's like you used to say, oh, Cam, this one's a lock. You realize pretty quick when you started that show, lock means loss.
Yep. I had this one guy. I was at my brother's bachelor party. I had this one guy betting with on my hand
I love
blackjack.
I don't like when people do that.
Dude, anytime he did it, I was losing my hand. So he started going oh, don't worry, I'm going to put 500 on your hand. I'm like, dude, just get the hell away from me. He's like, you can't. You're saying no to me? I'm like, yes. Like, you're bad luck.
People, I know this. You know what the worst is? Grifters come in Vegas. You see the smelly arm come over your shoulder, and he's on my chips. First of all, who are you?
Yes.
I'm not divvying up my money. I'm working I don't have time to do math. I'm half drunk. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, if you're going to do it, you got to know the guy and you have to have a system before you do it. That's
and it has to be solid. You have to be like, hey, here's $100. Okay, so I know if I win, you're getting 200 back. Don't be like, oh, can you put $113 or whatever? I'm like, dude, I'm not get out of here. I'm not putting $13. So you're go bet on your own thing.
$13. Yeah,
I'm just saying, it's always random numbers. I'm like, get out of here. I'm doing it myself.
I'm with you.
All right, let's get into the division preview, Cam. We'll start with the Pittsburgh Steelers. A lot of change in Pittsburgh. Once again, Mike Tomlin extended. Mr. Never goes below 500. We'll see if Cam predicts them to go below 500 when we do the schedule release. Cam, they've had a lot of changes. They added Patrick Queen on defense. They added Russell Wilson. They added Justin Fields. They added Roman Wilson. Deontay Jackson, Trubisky's gone, Deshaun Elliott, they added Cameron Johnson, they added Zach Frazier, they added Cordell Patterson, Peyton Wilson. Cam, they've improved a lot on their roster. Their defense, adding Queen, is huge. We saw with TJ Watt on the field, their defense was absolutely ridiculous, and now they added Queen, who's probably the best inside linebacker in the NFL. Cam, I really like this roster outside of the quarterback position. What do you think about the Steelers?
I don't even mind the quarterback position because you could basically, I think, you know how I feel about Fields. I think he was in a bad situation in Chicago.
He's not a good thrower of the football, though.
No, I agree. Right. That's the one thing. But Drew, that could be worked on, and he's a great athlete with his feet, and you can have other, hey, I don't know. They're probably going to start Russell Wilson, but they got two quarterbacks for nothing. They've improved their team. I think the Steelers are a very dangerous team. Drew, this division, to me, this is the one that I think every team is going to be within kind of like a game. It's going to be an absolute dogfight. What's the total over-under that you got for Pittsburgh?
It's right now, it's 8.5. Tomlin's never won less than 9 games. He's never won less than 9.
They're good for 9 or 10. They're good for 9 or 10. I think they're going to do very, very well. Their defense is great. I think as long as you protect the quarterback, if Russell Wilson's in there, you know what? Russell Wilson showed flashes at the end of the season with Denver when they started to figure out. It's one of those things.
And now, no offense to Sean Payton, but Sean Payton's an idiot. Now he's got a good coach coaching him. So, I think Russell Wilson will be more relaxed, cut loose, and trust himself a bit more with Tomlin at head coach, no?
That's a good point. Russell Wilson's one of those guys. He's still very emotional. He's almost
100%.
Like you have kids, right? And when Peyton's barking at him all the time, that's not good for business.
Dude, Peyton tried benching him when he was playing well because he was like, oh, no, I want to get rid of his contract. I'm going to bench him. So you guys are winning games. What are you talking about?
The thing is, you're right, Drew. It's nuts. And Russell Wilson needs positivity. Why do you think he played well in Seattle? Pete Carroll's a rah-rah guy. Tomlin is a rah-rah guy that can actually coach. And Peyton beat him down. I think there's a lot to like with the Steelers. I think that Patterson addition too, put that guy in some end around. Think about the packages when you got Fields on the ground and you got Patterson. You got two guys with world-class speed. Defenses are going to go, what? Patrick Queen? Dude, I wanted him to go to the because remember Baltimore's coach is now coordinator, Seattle's coach. I thought he was going to Seattle. I was pissed when he didn't go to the Seahawks. That could have changed everything for us.
Yeah, I mean, losing Queen for Baltimore is huge. We'll get to Baltimore after.
Yep.
Adding him for Pittsburgh, humongous. I mean, they lost Deontay Johnson to Carolina.
Who cares?
But George Pickens, I think he's the alpha. He's number one now, which I think will let him excel. Cam, I really like the Steelers. I think they're going to go over 8.5 as well. I think they have a sneaky chance at winning this division.
So do I.
Everyone's like, whoa. But
no. I
really
agree.
think so, Cam. And they're currently the longest odds at plus 750 out of all the 4 teams.
That's stupid.
I
They
don't
should be
think
3-1, 4-1.
Yes.
Drew, I'm gonna tell you, if Joe Burrow gets hurt with the Bengals, what happens there? Baltimore, in my opinion, we'll get to them. I see regression. Pittsburgh is very, very good. Like, it's just one of those teams that I think they can.
And like, I love Deshaun Watson, but let's be honest, he looks like shit. So like, I don't know if Cleveland might have downgraded going from Flacco to Watson. We'll get into that when we get to Cleveland. But okay, so let's go through the Steelers schedule. We have them both over 8.5. But let's truly see if you get them over 8.5. Cam, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, where is it? Right here. Week 1 at Atlanta.
Win.
Okay. Week 2 at Denver.
Win.
Ooh, 2 back-to-back wins on the road. Week 3, Chargers come to Pittsburgh.
They might lose that game.
So they might, or are they going to?
They'd lose.
Okay, loss.
I don't. As you know, I don't like this game.
Okay, fair,
games are played on
but
the.
We like it.
People like it. Okay,
yes.
It's hard because I'm like you almost have okay, go.
Week 4 at Indianapolis.
Oh, that's a tough game. Win.
Week 5, Dallas comes to Pittsburgh.
So they might lose to Dallas. Loss.
Okay. Week 6 at Vegas.
Win.
Week 7, Jets come to Pittsburgh.
Win.
Week 8, Giants come to Pittsburgh.
Win.
Week 10 at Washington.
Win.
Week 11, Baltimore comes to town.
They might lose. They're going to split with Baltimore, so I'll say loss.
So you're going to say loss at home. Okay. Week 12 at Cleveland.
They'll lose that game.
Week 13 at Cincinnati.
Win.
Week 14, Cleveland comes to Pittsburgh.
Did I say loss the first time? Win this time.
Week 15 at Philly.
Loss.
Week 16 at Baltimore.
Did you not give me Baltimore 3 times?
Nope.
Okay. Loss. Where are we sitting right now?
You're at 9 wins right now.
Okay.
Week 17, KC comes to town.
Loss.
Week 18, Cincinnati comes to town.
Win.
So you got them at 10 wins. So yeah,
10
you
or
like
11.
them.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to actually make that bet right when we're done this show. I'm going to, my little finger, the diabetes finger is going to be split in half after I hit Pittsburgh. I might hit it a few times. I'm going to tell you, I think they can win. Actually, I was being generous with their schedule. I think they can win 11 games, 12.
Yeah,
games.
you said it at the top of your head, you think they'd split with Baltimore, and you gave Baltimore both wins. So there, that's 11 wins. If they split with Cleveland, that's 12. Yeah, I like them to over this 8.5. I think 8.5 is too low. I think it's a lack of respect thing, and like for Wilson and Tomlin, like I don't care who his quarterback is, Tomlin always finds a way, and their defense is just stacked.
They won with friggin' Mason Rudolph. Okay,
yeah,
they won some games with Rudolph down the stretch.
They know how to win with quarterbacks.
Not just that, their defense. If they stay healthy, Pittsburgh's they're a team you don't want to mess with. They're tough. They're tough as nails too. I can't believe
them going and getting smoked by a contender in the playoffs, just like they always do in round 1.
Yep.
All right, moving on, Cam. We like the Steelers over 8.5. We like them in the division odds. We like them to go over 10 wins, maybe even more. So maybe some alt win lines. All right, moving on to the Cleveland Browns. They upgraded at quarterback from Joe Flacco to Deshaun Watson. Now that Watson is back, I don't know if you can call it an upgrade. Flacco looked pretty good besides the playoffs. The record against 9-win teams, Cam, was 5-4. They added Jerry Jeudy, who's now their number 2 receiver. The Cooper Jeudy duo is pretty good, Cam. They have David Njoku still. It looks like Nick Chubb is going to be ready to go. You see him squatting 700 pounds last week. I was like, okay, this guy's a freak athlete. Like, him and Jerome Ford, great RB duo. Their offense will be fine as long as Watson wakes up and stops throwing ducks and skipping balls and highest paid quarterback in the league.
Like how about, hey, Deshaun, fucking guy, like you're getting paid all this money. How about you work?
Yeah.
Like if this guy actually put the work in, Cleveland can win a Super Bowl. Like with their offensive line and their defense is young. I'm telling you, Drew, like it's unbelievable to me. Like and people are like, Cam, are you nuts? No, I'm not. They have the best offensive line. They have really good weapons. They're running
one of the best defensive line too with Myles Garrett, Cam.
Dude, I know. They're like Cleveland should be like they should be there. Like anyway, I like them. What's their total?
So their total. Let me look at their total right now.
I think it's 8.5 with juice, right?
Their total is 8.5 minus 135.
Over.
Yeah. See, I like
these are the teams I like in the division: Cleveland and Pittsburgh, and the other ones I'm gonna not like so much.
So this over is entirely reliant on Deshaun Watson because if he goes down, they added Huntley as their backup, which probably a downgrade on Flacco, but I think he's serviceable. I think he's.
I would say Flacco did good till he needed to move in the playoffs. Don't worry about Huntley. He's
Huntley, preseason superstar. I would bet on the Ravens every week.
No, Huntley's fine. Like I don't mind him as a backup.
Yeah, they added Jordan Hicks, Quentin Jefferson. They lost Harrison Bryant, their tight end, but they don't really need him. They added Zach Zinter at guard, so they improved their O-line that was already very good.
I know.
So Cam, yeah, I like Cleveland over that 8.5, but let's go through their schedule and see if you really like them
The fun.
over 8.5.
Yes.
Ready?
Yes.
Week 1, Dallas Cowboys.
At Cleveland?
Yes.
Win for Cleveland.
Ooh. Week 2, going to Jacksonville.
Win for Cleveland.
Week 3, Giants come to town.
Win.
Week 4, at Raiders.
Loss.
Week 5, at Washington.
Win.
Jaden Daniels against that D-line. Week 6, at Philly.
Loss, but I think they can win the game. I think Cleveland can win like 13 games. Am I nuts?
Yeah. Week 7, Cincinnati comes to town.
They'll beat I like Cleveland.
Week 8, Baltimore comes to town.
They'll beat Baltimore.
Week 9, Chargers come to town.
That's a good game. I'm going to have to put a loss somewhere, so I'll put it there.
Okay, week 10 is a bye. Week 11, they go to New Orleans.
Win.
Week 12, Pittsburgh comes to town.
Win.
Week 13, they go to Denver.
Win.
Week 14, Pittsburgh.
Loss.
Week 15, KC comes to Cleveland.
Loss.
That's a sneaky.
You know what? They might win that game, but I got to put a loss somewhere because I'm going to have them winning 13 games.
Week 16, at Cincinnati.
Loss.
Week 17, Miami comes to town.
I think they'll
Tua in the cold in Cleveland.
Yeah, Tua in the cold in Cleveland. Good. Yeah, good luck, pal. He might not even be the starting quarterback by that week. We can do a side bet. You still owe me for the. It's been a while, Drew. Tick, 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 tick. I'm waiting for those wings. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, next.
So you got them beating them. Week 18, they end the season at Baltimore.
I'll say loss, but I could probably gave them 12, right?
You gave them 10.
I think they're an 11-win team.
You gave them 10, and there was like 2 or 3 in there. You were like, I want to give them the win here, but
let's just say this: we're betting Pittsburgh over. We're betting Cleveland over.
Cam, I think Cleveland could win like 13 games. I agree with you.
So do I.
If Deshaun Watson is just serviceable, they can win these games. If he shits the bed, like you can't get out of the contract, which is an issue. Like they just really.
How do you deal with this guy? Like you can't. Yeah, like you almost need somebody in the organization who he respects that's a little bit of a hard ass and go, you got to work a little bit harder, pal. Like I know you got all this money and money makes people soft. That's why I keep working. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, I'll work for you. I'll give you my best. I feel like every time you do a bad show, you're done. And that's a good way. Hey, if you want to be an employer, that's what you do. You make people hungry to get their next contract. And I will say
Cam,
this.
look at him in college when he was hungry to make the NFL.
Oh, I know.
He was unreal for Clemson, the national title game.
Hey,
like I was like,
a lot of guys, Drew, once they get the bag.
And like he was good in Houston before his injury and all, or not his injury, before all this publicity stuff.
Actually, his last year in Houston, he started. That's when the downgrade started.
Yeah, but he threw 5,000 yards one year. Like, what happened to this guy? I don't know.
Likes women.
I think he needs a sports psychologist and like someone like just talk. It's not even the talent.
And he needs to
like
stay away from. Yeah, just stay away from women, strip clubs, other things. Just focus on football.
Fair
you
enough.
almost want to keep him in a room. Like he can't escape. After 2 o'clock in the midnight,
put him in the dark retreat that Aaron Rodgers goes to.
Yes.
Just like you're stuck in this house forever. He's like, I make $250 million. We don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the Cincinnati Bengals. Cam, their over/under win total is 10.5, which I think is maybe too high. We'll see. Yeah, you can't say it right away. You got to give it some suspense. They lost the right tackle, added Mims, who's a first-round pick. We'll see if he's any better. Who knows? They lost DJ Reader, who's a big blow, and they lost Awuzie, who's like their best corner. Cam, he's gone, which is a big loss. Joe Mixon to Zach Moss declined. Geno Stone added on safety instead of Nick Scott declined. They lost Tupuo. They lost Tyler Boyd, and they added McKinley Jackson on their D-line, which maybe will help them. Cam, 10.5 wins. I don't know. Like, realistically, when Jake Browning came in, we thought they were going to take a huge step back. I don't think he looked much worse than Burrow can.
See, that's a take that we both agree with, but people are going to go, oh, you guys are nuts. No, the thing is, just actually look at what happened. Yeah. Browning had one bad start. The kid's nervous. And after that, he figured it out. Like, that's the whole thing. Joe Burrow is a great quarterback. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, 100%.
But this guy also has the type of injuries where, you know, like he does he feel like a guy that's been in the league a couple of years? He's starting to feel like Brett Favre. He's been beat up.
3 severe injuries in 4
That's
seasons.
what I'm talking about. If you bet the Bengals over, you're playing with fire. I don't think they can get through the season with the injuries. They're thin in the secondary. I think they're like a 8 or 9 win team tops. I don't like the Bengals this year.
like their offense is not as good. Obviously, they have Chase and Higgins still, so whatever, it'll still be
Whatever.
fine. But like Zach Moss is your starting running back.
Teams
Joe
are going to
Burrow,
carve them up. Like that's the thing. Their secondaries, like they got some real good, like guys that are questionable back there. I'm sorry. In that division too. Like
it'll be tough. Like they've like everyone's like, oh, they win because of Burrow. They win because of Burrow. They win because of the defense. Cincinnati defense has always been good. When they beat Mahomes in the playoffs, because of their defense. When they went on that run to the Super Bowl, it was because of their defense.
Their defense
they won games scoring 0 touchdowns.
They're not as good as they were a couple years ago. Their defense, though.
No, exactly. And now their offense isn't as good either. With losing Boyd is a big blow. People are like, oh, it's just the third receiver. Just the third receiver.
He's probably one of the best possession receivers in the game.
Yeah.
Wow. We haven't talked in a long time. It's almost like you're in my house behind a painting with your eyes. Just like Anyway, okay. Let's do this.
So let's see. With the over under 10.5, you like the under, I like the under, but let's go through the schedule. Let's see if Cam really likes the under. Week 1, Patriots come to town.
Win.
Week 2 at KC.
Loss.
Week 3, Commanders come to town.
Win.
Week 4 at Carolina.
Win. Their schedule is pretty easy.
Week 5, Baltimore comes to town.
Loss.
Week 6 at the Giants.
Win.
Week 7 at Cleveland.
Loss.
Week 8, Philadelphia comes to town.
Loss.
Week 9, Vegas comes to town.
Win.
Week 10 at Baltimore.
Loss.
Week 11 at LAC.
Loss.
Week 12 bye. Week 13, Steelers come to Cincinnati.
Loss.
Week 14 at Dallas.
Loss.
Week 15 at Tennessee.
Loss.
Whoa. Week 16 versus Cleveland at home.
They got to win one. I'll give them that one.
Okay. Week 17, Denver comes to town.
Win.
Week 18 at Pittsburgh.
Loss.
So you have them winning 7 games, Cam.
Wow. I was thinking 8, but yeah, this game. See, this is why this game's tough.
But this is good because now you see the 10.5. You're like, I predicted them to win 7. That means you should hammer the under.
I actually think they're probably going to win 8, but I'm going to hammer the under.
Regardless, 10.5, Cam.
I love this division. Like our bet so far, Pittsburgh at that price, like over. Like I'm telling you, Cleveland and
Cleveland and Pittsburgh
under
are plus 500 and plus 750 to win the division.
Why do people think Cincinnati's so much better than everybody? Like they're not that much.
Because of Joe Burrow. It's the Joe Burrow thing.
Good, because it's going to help me. We're going to cash when we take the under.
Cam,
was it 9.5 or 10.5?
10.5.
10.5.
And it's juiced. It's plus money to the under.
You're telling me this team wins 11 games? Fuck no.
Yeah, I don't see it either. I know everyone's Burrow.
Oh, people are in the comments. You guys are so stupid.
You're doubting Cincinnati. They went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago.
Cincinnati. I'm not going to say they're a shitty team or whatever. This is one of the toughest, most competitive divisions. Yes. And you're telling me they're 2 games better than all these teams at 8.5, 8.5? No, they're not. They're all the same to me. They're an 8-win team, maybe 9. They're not winning 11 games.
I agree with you, Cam. I might take some alt unders. And like realistically, Joe Burrow finishing the season, a big question mark. Like we don't know if he's going to finish the season.
I couldn't agree
more.
And
if he gets hurt and it's Browning again, yes, Browning was almost as good as Burrow. Like he looked serviceable and everything. But with the team worse around Browning, that's not good news.
Agreed.
Yeah, Cam. I don't know. I agree with you. I think they're going to go well under this 10.5. I don't think they should be that close to the division. Like the division odds being plus 160 for Cincinnati. And then plus 750 for Pittsburgh, I think is ridiculous.
Couldn't agree more. I
don't know who sets these lines, but that's fine with us because we can cash in on their mistakes. Last but not least, the Baltimore Ravens, who won the division last season at 13-4. Cam, they got some big changes. They lost Queen, they lost Clowney, they lost Darby. They replaced him with a first rounder. They lost Gus Edwards, but they gained Derrick Henry. They lost Stone, they lost Simpson, they lost Zeitler, they lost Moses, they lost Devin Duvernay, they lost Odell Beckham Jr. Cam, they lost 3 of their starting offensive line, and both guards and their right tackle are gone. And then Harbaugh comes out and he's like, "Oh, we want to run the football more this season." What? You want to run the football more with 3 new offensive linemen?
And Derrick Henry is a guy that needs steam. He's not a side-to-side runner. This actually, I'm going to tell you, I like Baltimore's under. What are they? 10.5, 11? What are they
right now? They are.
It's 10.5.
Yeah,
under. Baltimore and Cincy go under. Pittsburgh and Cleveland go over.
Cam, I don't get it. It's just like you signed Derrick Henry, who needs that steam to gain speed. There's with 3 new starting linemen, Cam, someone's going to be in the backfield right away. He's not a guy to sidestep the guy in the backfield.
I'm fading this team hard this year. And another thing, Lamar Jackson, after another year, all these, I'm going to tell you, eventually it's going to happen. It happened to RG3. And I love this kid, but I'm telling you, he's going to try to do too much if things aren't working, and he's going to get lit one of these days.
He won MVP at a heavier weight. they've now said in the offseason they want him to lose 20 pounds and go back to his lighter playing style.
That's a disaster.
He just lost 3 linemen. You want him to get lighter? Like, just injury waiting to happen, and like losing Odell.
Hey, don't remember one thing too. Their coordinator, that's now Seattle's coach, is one of the best in the business. That's a huge loss too. Like Baltimore is moving backwards. They're not moving forwards, people.
Cam, I think they've heavily declined, and like they're the favorites to win this division. I think they could be 4th place in this division.
I think the division is
going to be like, you're crazy, 4th place.
I'm going to tell you, I think it's going to go Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati, or vice versa on the bottom 2.
So we both agree they should not be favored to win the division. I agree with you. I think Baltimore is the worst team in this division. I know they have Lamar, but I don't see anywhere else where they're that much better than any other team.
So are we playing your game again?
Yes, we're playing.
I guess I have to do it for everybody, even though we're taking the under.
Okay, Cam, and they got a tough schedule. They got the division winning schedule, Cam, which doesn't spell good news. Week 1, KC
loss.
Okay, week 2 at Vegas.
Win.
Vegas and Baltimore.
Win.
Okay, week 3 at Dallas.
Loss.
Week 4 at Buffalo comes to Baltimore.
Loss.
Week 5 Bengals in Cincinnati.
Loss.
Week 6 at Washington.
Win.
Week 7 Tampa Bay.
Where?
In Tampa.
It's not an easy game, but I'll give them a win.
Week 8 at Cleveland.
Loss.
Week 9 Denver comes to Baltimore.
Win.
Week 10 Cincinnati comes to Baltimore.
I'll give Cincinnati a win there. Loss.
Okay, week 11 at Pittsburgh.
Man, this game's tough. Loss.
Week 12 at Chargers.
Loss.
Week 13 Philadelphia comes to Baltimore.
Win.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Well, I got to take a home team again.
Week 15 at Giants.
Win.
Week 16 Steelers come to Baltimore.
Loss.
Week 17 at Houston.
Loss.
Week 18 Cleveland comes to Baltimore.
Give them another win. What's that? 8, 9?
That's 7.
Perfect. Under.
You
know what? And actually, you could change this. They'll beat Kansas City in the first game of the year, and then it gets horrible after that. So
you think they beat KC and they're banning raising Thursday night?
Yeah. I'm trying to be generous here to give them.
Fair, I know. I'm saying KC did pretty well against them in the AFC Championship game last year.
Yeah, it's a revenge game. But anyway, we'll talk about those games in the future.
Okay, so Cam, the Bengals and Ravens both have 10.5 win totals. You have them both going 7-11. The Steelers and Browns, you have both going 11-7. They have 8.5 win totals. So that tells me we should be hammering the under on Baltimore and Cincy and hammering the over on Cleveland and Pittsburgh. There isn't really like most of the other divisions we had like games where we're like, oh, that line's great in Vegas. Right now,
we're playing this game and things are going to change in the regular season. Let's just say this.
Sure.
I will max those teams out, Drew, at 9, and their win totals are 10.5. So I'm still going to, no matter how we play this game or if I change my opinion, I don't think either of those teams wins 10. And if one of them wins 10s, it's still a loss. It's 10.5.
So to end this AFC, I agree with you, Cam. And to end the AFC North preview, we're going to go give your top 4 in order. I'll start. I like Cleveland to win the division at 1, Cincinnati 2, Pittsburgh 3, Baltimore 4. Give me your 4.
Cleveland 1, Pittsburgh 2, Cincinnati 3, Baltimore 4.
Wow, so we both have the Baltimore Ravens, defending champion, 13-4. Number 1 seed, going from first in the AFC to 4th in their division.
Next thing, know what? We got problems because I'm gonna hear tap, tap, tap at the window, and it's gonna be a Raven just sitting at me, like ready to like kill me. Remember those Ravens, Drew? They never forget, and they're very vengeful birds. Like I remember a guy when I lived up in Yellowknife, he threw a rock at a Raven. One time he was coming home drunk, and that Raven like was all over him. They're like, you're that idiot that threw a rock at me. I'm gonna fuck you up. Ravens have photographic memories, so I hope no Ravens are watching the damn show. We're dead.
Cam, did you like that show That's So Raven on the Family Channel?
I've never seen That's So Raven. It sounds pretty fucking stupid.
It was about a girl who like could see the future with her Raven power.
And her name was Raven?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it was called That's So Raven.
Actually, my cousin married a guy named Raven. And he's a Seahawk fan like me because I brainwashed him.
How could you not cheer for the Ravens if you're named Raven?
Because he's a smart guy. I told him, just get off. I go, the Seahawks are the bird. You can't be a Raven and a Raven.
Oh, well, it doesn't look like Seahawks are the bird anymore, Cam. We'll see. Yeah, anyways, that does it for our AFC North preview. Please click like, please click subscribe, please rate and review the podcast on all audio platforms. Let us know in the comments below where you think the stand is going to finish. Who's number one? Who's our fourth?
Kill us,
and tell us why we're crazy saying the Ravens are fourth place and that we believe in Deshaun Watson and the Browns. I know we're insane. Whatever. Let us know. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next week.
That's funny.
This has been Drew and Stu. Follow Drew at Producer Drew and Cam at Cam Stewart Live. May the winners be yours and all of the best bets hit.